Iran is going to destroy our whole national interest in the Middle East. Never mind what it's going to do to one of our allies, but just in terms of all of the countries that we depend upon. They're in an uproar. They're outraged at what this administration is doing. This makes no sense to me.
All right, that was Mort Zuckerman, the big publishing and real estate magnate, saying that, he is not really looking forward to this deal that he still thinks will probably get done, and he's not happy about it. He's talking about the Iran nuclear deal, that the deadline for which has been extended a few days now. Secretary of State Kerry indicating that we're close to something here, that this tentative agreement we've had in place that includes Iran opening itself up to inspections still stands, and that's a promising sign. And no mullah or Ayatollah is saying something crazy. So all good news to hear these guys say it, not more, but the administration types who are continuing the negotiations. This next fellow not convinced at all. Republican Congressman Robert Pittenger is saying that this will also affect our safety at home if we go through it. Your concern, Congressman, is that we should just stop. We've already heard enough out of the Iranians to give us pause, right?
Well, yes, sir. The agreement itself is replete with many, many concerns. Look at the IAEA. I've sat down with them in Vienna. They are greatly restricted in where they can go. They can't go anywhere else in the country. In those 17 sites that they're limited to go to, they do not have unfettered access. So
do we know that for sure, Congressman? Because it's still early in this, and the administration says, we haven't even told you where those access points are, so how would you know what we're accepting or not? You're saying that if anything is off, as it was in the case of North Korea, and we know how that ended up, not good.
Yes, sir. The Iranians have said that they will only accept managed access. That means they can invite us in at their discretion when they want to, and it looks clean and pretty, and there's no evidence of any problem.
And they can move stuff around. They could just hide stuff, right? Play hide and seek.
Absolutely. We're at their discretion when we come in. The other issue, of course, is the R&D enrichment, nuclear enrichment. But we started this conversation with them that there would not be any enrichment. After concession, it's changed that now it's how much do they get. A recent University of Texas analysis came out and said that they're 3 months away from this breakout. That doesn't make sense either. You look at what the 5 analyst advisors to the president wrote just this last week. General Petraeus, General Cartwright, Dennis Ross, and others saying this agreement will not stop Iran from getting a nuclear capacity.
That's scary. That's scary. You know what? And you're closer to this deal and to know the details more than I do. But I always look at when free agents or baseball or football players are negotiating contracts. I always follow those with intrigue because I always say, what is the single biggest issue? Let's say the player always wants more money, right? He wants more money. Mm-hmm. And the management doesn't want to give him that much money if he can avoid it, or they can avoid it. Now, in this negotiation, what I've come to discover is we are very hot on verifying that Iran is keeping to this deal. And obviously the administration knows that's what we're concerned about. The Iranians seem to be hot on one thing, the $50 to $60 billion worth of sanctions taken off so that they can have that money right away. So they want the money right away.
That much.
That's interesting, I think.
And we've given them $12 billion over the last 16 months. We've given them $700 million a month, which has helped sustain their economy.
And by the way, their oil back on the market, 2 million barrels a day, if all comes to pass. That's a lot of spare change.
General Flynn also said that this agreement is wishful thinking. He was head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. You know, Neil, this agreement did not include ICBMs. It was left off the table. They demanded it up front. That means they can work with North Korea today in developing intercontinental ballistic missiles to launch to the United States. What we have today is Hitler with nuclear arms. We have their capacity to develop nuclear weapons and the reach of an ICBM to reach the United States. This is very serious and really demands that we assess this. You know, when we address the Soviet Union, we kept the squeeze on them economically, militarily, diplomatically. We put Voice of America into their country for Radio Free Europe. The Soviet Union collapsed without firing a shot. What we've done is lift the pressure off Iran. I spoke this last month at a peace democracy rally in Paris. 120,000 people there for peace and democracy in Iran. It was an incredible meeting.
Well, we'll see.
And
I don't
this
know.
was broadcast throughout Iran.
But we don't know.
We've
I don't know
done
if
nothing to support these people.
I hear you. I wish I had more time. I just don't know if everything you say is accurate. Then again, I don't know if everything the administration says is accurate. But your fears are rampant. I've heard other people express them. We'll see how it goes. Again, this deal has been extended.